What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial, and today we're going to continue with the RPG series. Today we'll be finishing off the combat system and we will be implementing the blood effect, so when we basically damage the enemy, in this case our dummy, and then also we'll go ahead and actually use the player stats component that we created earlier on in the series, and we will actually decrease the damage of the dummy, and then we will also symbolize it in a health bar on top of his head so we can get things going already. It's gonna be a very easy video to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so let's begin by actually adding the blood effect. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get this free effects package from the marketplace. So I will be linking it down. It's totally free, just add it to your library, and then once you have it in your library, you can just say add to project. So for now, yes, we're gonna be using this asset. You just have a has a simple blood effect, so it will be great for us. Later on, maybe in the series, we will create a more dynamic blood effect, but for now it will get things going and it's gonna be just better for us, save us time, and it looks pretty good. So we're gonna be making use of this one. So again, I'll be linking in the description. It's totally free. So once you have it in your library, you can just go down and search it and then add it to the project. And now of course what you can do is search RPG, basically well, the name of your project that you're doing the RPG series, then add it to the project. But there's a problem with this, and the thing is that it will not only of course add the blood effect, but it will basically import all of the effects. So the problem with this is that basically with time, slowly, the project will start to fill up of junk, okay, that maybe we don't use never. Okay, maybe later on you import another asset here, another there, and slowly it builds up into this huge project. So we need to do things properly. So what I suggest doing is going ahead and importing it in another project and then only migrating the blood effect, and it will just keep things much cleaner. And this is actually what is done when you actually make a, I guess, a good production game later on and you use any asset. Okay, so if you just want to skip this, I will be leaving a timestamp right now in the screen so you can just skip into that part, but I recommend that you follow this so it will just be a bit cleaner. Like I said, it won't change anything on the episode, it's just keeping things a bit neater. So I'm gonna go ahead and import it into this project over here, and if you already have a project that you can just import it and use that, go ahead. But if not, you can just go ahead and create a new project, just import this asset. Let's go ahead and click add to project, and of course you will have to wait a few seconds or however it takes. It's only 200 megabytes, so it shouldn't take a lot. So once it is imported, you can see that we have here the folder and all the things basically. So just go ahead and enter, and we'll go into the particle section, and you will see the first folder actually is blood. Now yes, unfortunately it's using Cascade's particle system, so basically the old Unreal Engine particle system, not Niagara, but it doesn't matter, it's just a simple blood effect. Don't worry if that, in that case, in the future we'll update the blood effect. But for now, it's just great for us. So let's go and select the blood cascade over here, the effect, right click and go into asset actions. And now we can go into this place which says migrate. So now we can click it, we just say we want to save, don't worry about that. And then it will automatically go ahead and select all the things that we need to import, because of course it's not just this asset, it's the textures of the blood, it's the particles, and so on. So this is exactly what we want, so you can see that that's only what we need. There's nothing more of the engine or whatever. We can say okay, and now we have to go ahead and find our content folder of our RPG project, the one that we're gonna migrate to. So in my case it will be this one, the RPG Tutorial Series _git. And then I can just go into the content folder, and right in the content folder I can just say choose a folder, and that's it. It will go ahead and migrate. You can see it's not already here. If I go into particles, blood, there we go, it is here. Okay, I don't know why it disappeared. It shouldn't disappear. Okay, it's copying and pasting and it doesn't move. I don't know what that happened, but that's it. So now I can just go into my RPG project, and you can see that I have the folder here with the particle, and now I can just go here and I have this blood effect. Great. And now maybe you just drag it in the scene and don't see anything. Don't worry, it is probably, there we go, compiling shaders. So now it appears. So I think it's working great. And I'm gonna change the name and call this basically FX. So we have this a bit cleaner. So we want to organize this very well. Okay, so now that everything is imported, we can go ahead and start just using the blood and spamming it when we damage the enemy. So let's go into blueprints. I'm gonna go into our BPC attack system. Okay, our attack system component. And in here we have the combo and stuff. And we want to go into the sword trace. Of course, when we go ahead and detect the enemy and apply the damage. So we're gonna get the sphere trace, move it a bit to the right, and then extend this and then get the delay and put it. So we're gonna go ahead and put it right after we play the camera shake and the sounds. Okay, we're gonna play it right over here. So what I want to do is get this and then spawn emitter at location. Okay, and down here we can go ahead and find our blood visual effect, and now what we can do is go ahead and get the location point. So in our case, I already have a point of here, so I can just plug it in, double click, and put it right on top of here, so it's nice and organized. There we go. So the location will be the same one as the camera shake basically. And then for the rotation, we want to have a nice angle from when it's impacting. So for that we can use the normal. So what we can do is make a rotation from X and Y, and then we're gonna put the Y to be also the normal. And now we have a nice rotation basically looking outwards of the mesh of the enemy. So now we can just get the return value and just plug it into rotation over there. And to keep things cleaner, once again, gonna highlight this, double click, create the ping, and move it into the right, so everything is nice and neat. And then the scale, we're gonna drop this around 0.4 because you will see that is pretty big actually. And lastly, we're gonna go into the pulling method, and then say auto release. And now we can just select this, copy it, Control C, and then we're gonna go into our sphere trace and do exactly the same. So it will play in our kicks, and this time it's just at the end. So paste it, go put it here, get our location once again and put it over here. Double click to make a pin so it's cleaner, extend the comment, and then in the rotation we'll do exactly the same. If we want to just copy the node, so make rotation from X and Y, just plug it here and plug the normal in the both pins, and now we can just plug in the rotation and double click to make a pin so it's nice and organized, and there we go. That's it. So now we can actually compile and save to go ahead and test this. So if I press play, I can go into here, there we go, nice vaulting, and I can go ahead and start hitting, and you can see the blood starting to appear. Great. So I think gonna make that I think it's time is to go ahead and start disabling the line traces, because I think that we don't need them. So let's go back into the text system, and we're gonna go here, and in draw debug type we're gonna say none, and the same for the sphere trace. And now we don't have this debug spheres going ahead and appearing, and there we go. Now you can see the blood already appearing and it's looking pretty great. Of course you can go ahead and retouch the asset as you want, so yeah, but overall it's looking great. So we can go ahead and continue. Great. So now what we want to do is go ahead and implement the stats system that we created earlier, which is this one, into the dummy, so we can actually decrease its damage, and then when it's 0 you can die. So later on when we make the actual enemy with the AI, it will be easier for us because we have pretty much the whole system completed on the health and stuff. So let's go ahead and select the dummy in the scene, Ctrl E to open up the blueprint. And now what we need to do is go to the component section and add the BPC underscore player stats. Now just hit enter, and there we go. So let's go into the event any damage that we created earlier on. I'm gonna go into the end over here and just get the BPC player stats and drag this and say decrease health. So now what we need to do is decrease the health. So what's gonna be the amount? Well, basically Unreal Engine has everything very good set up and organized, so now we can have directly the output over here. So when we call it, so now we can just get the damage that we receive and put it over here. And now to make things prettier, once again, double click to make pins. I always do this because it's just making things just look much better. And now we can just go ahead and put it around here. There we go. Looking great. So now it will go ahead and decrease the health. So now if we go and press play, you will see what will happen. So I start attacking, and of course we don't have any health bar, so we cannot see this yet. But when I go ahead and press exit, you will see a bunch of errors. And you probably will be questioning what is happening. Well, let me explain you what is happening. Let's go ahead and open the BPC player stats component. And the thing is here is that, well, let's go into our decrease health function. And right when we are decreasing health, we are trying to access the player component, and then going ahead and accessing the UI to the basically set the percent and so on. But the problem is that, well, this is no longer the player. It's right now on the dummy, so it's basically just not getting this player, and when it's calling the set percent, it's getting an error. So we have to change this. So let's go ahead and start up by going into the event graph over here. And in the begin play, you can see that we make a small delay, and then we cast into the third person character. But in this case, it will not be the third person character. So in case that it's not the third person character and we are in the dummy, we'll go into the cast failed. So what we need to do is get the owner, copy and paste it over here. And to do is go ahead and just cast to the dummy, and then just get this cast failed and just plug it in. So now if it's not the player, it will go into the dummy. And now what we need to do, as we did with the other one, is save this as a variable. Just get the dummy, right click, promote to variable, and this will be basically the dummy blueprint. And later on we'll do the same when we have the actual AI enemy blueprint, of course. Great, so now we have that. So another thing that we have to go ahead and do is, of course, do and change all of these calls on the set percent, so they can also work with dummy in case it is the dummy. But let's get started by actually creating the UI for the dummy. So what we're going to do is go here into the content browser, and I go into the UI, and you can see that we need to create a new basically new widget. Now let's go ahead and take a look real quick into the HUD. So basically we're going to be using the same design of the health bar, pretty much the same. So we can see that in X and Y we have 520. So that's going to be the same values that we're going to be using basically. Let's go back into the UI section over here. Let's right click and create a new user interface widget blueprint. Let's go ahead and create a new user widget. It's going to be WB underscore, and this will be the dummy health bar. Okay, dummy health bar. There we go. Let's go ahead and open this up. Let's put it here. Great. So let's go into the palette and find a canvas panel and just drag it here so we can start placing and dragging our things. So the only thing that we need to do is get the progress bar and drag it in here. So let's go into the anchors and set it to be in the center. And then in the position X and Y, we'll go ahead and set it into 0, so we'll be perfectly on 0. But then in alignment, we just add 8.5 and 0.5 like we did with the other UI. So this is exactly at the center. And now, as we saw with the other one, we have to put 520 in X and Y. So it will basically look really similar, and there's like coherence in the design of the UI and so on, you know. Of course, it doesn't really matter, small details, but the small details just improves overall everything. And now, as we did with the other widget, we have to go into the style and apply the same image, so it will look the same. So let's go into the style. Let's begin with the background image, and in here, I think it was just called bar. Exactly, it's bar. And then we go into the fill image and do exactly the same. Search for bar and put it here. And now what we can do is to preview this, we can just put 8.7 for example, and then we'll go ahead and change the color so it's exactly the same one. Let's go back into the widget, and in fill color on opacity, what we can do is go into the hex value, select everything, Ctrl C, close this, go back here, and then open the fill color, go into the hex opacity here, well, color, not opacity, and then paste it, and now it will have the exact same color. Great, so now we have the health bar created. Great. There's only one more thing that we have to do, and it's, well, two things, okay? Let's go select the health bar and name it pretty much exactly the same. So in here, it is called just health bar, okay? So let's do the same. Let's go here, select this health bar, and then make sure that its variable is ticked. And now another thing that we're going to do is also add this basically text over here so we can see. So in here, it's basically called health text. So I believe that we can just copy and paste the whole component. No, we can't. Okay, so we have to get the text and then change the name to be health text without that symbol. There we go. And now let's try to match the same things. So the font is this bold font that we imported, and then size 10. So size 10, and then the font family will be the bold name, this one. Okay, there we go. And now we can just center this again like we did with the other one. Set the position X and Y to 0, and then the alignment to 0.1. But first of all, let's put this to be, matching more the size, and now it will be better. Great, 0.5 and 0.5. So now it will be exactly the center, and now the alignment will also be in the center. And now we can just test to put this as 70 also. And now there we go. It will be exactly pretty much like the other one. So that's it. That's all that we have to do pretty much. So set the text on this set is variable so we can access it from outside. Compile and save, and now we are up to everything, and we can close both widgets. Let's go into the dummy blueprint and go to the viewport. And now of course we have to add this widget. So let's go to the add components section and search for widget. And it's going to be the first one, and this will be basically the health bar widget. And down here we can select the class to be the one that we have just created, so the dummy health, and then there we go. So we can just go up here, put it in the health bar, well, up in the health bar, not on top of his head, and then just decrease the size so it matches a bit more of what we are going ahead and searching. And I think that 0.1 maybe is better, or too small. I kind of like it. 0.15. 0.15, there you go. Let's see, that's a bit better. Yeah, I kind of like this. Okay, so that's great. And I think that I noticed some of the comments said that instead of in the event take manually finding the player's camera and change the rotation of where it's looking, we can just go into space and change this into screen. And that should maybe change that. Yes. Okay, but that's not what we're actually looking, because okay, it works, yes, but in this case we don't want that because it will just be always no, okay, that's not what we like, but great tip. So let's go back into Wild, and don't worry, we'll do exactly the same. So quickly do that, go to the vent graph, go up here, put this here, let's go to the vent tech, and we'll do pretty much exactly the same thing. So what we can do is get the health bar, drag it, and then just get it and plug it into the target. So now it will move both components at the same time, and now it will keep the same size and position. There we go. Now the text is very small and stuff, don't worry, we'll change later. But great, now we have the health bar going on over there. Of course, we now have, okay, I just jumped over my dummy. What we have to do right now is, of course, fix the errors that we're having, and also so it will update the health bar, of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna go into the player stats, and let's go into the event graph. So on here you can see that we're already setting some of the values over here. Okay, so the only ones that we want is actually the max health and current health. So what we can do is a very intelligent thing. Instead of going ahead and setting all of this again, and let's go in here and use the select node. Okay, so in here we can basically now choose the index to be a boolean. And let's go ahead and right click and create a new variable. So this will be is dummy, we can say. Yes, is dummy. Okay, actually not, is player. Yes, is player, is player. Okay, so if it's the player, it will go ahead and output one specific target, but if not, it will output another specific target. Okay, basically the UI. So in this case, we can go into this health and just block the target to be this one instead. So now in here, what we can do is go and pass the true to be this one, because now, of course, the health bar is getting it from here. So there we go, we are getting the ones from the player if it's true. But now we need to get the dummy and do the other thing. Let's get the dummy, yes, PP. Now get the widget health bar. Okay, and now yes, it's accessing the widget. Let's go and get this one down, and now we can just get the variables that we created. So in this case will be the health bar, I guess it was. the health bar, yes. Now in here what we can do is not directly access. So actually we're gonna create a variable for it, because now we need to cast. Let's go back to the dummy and go into the begin play. If it's not there, we can just add it here. So let's go and add the begin play. And now we just need to get the health bar, drag it in, and then say get widget. We'll access the class widget. And now we can go ahead and cast into the specific class, which was the dummy health. And now we can just save this as the what was it? I mean, health bar widget, I guess. You can just call it like that. Okay. Health bar UI. Health bar UI. Okay. So now it will be saved as a variable. Compile and save. Go back to the player stats. And now, instead of getting directly the widget, we can just access the variable. So it will be the get health bar UI. And now, yes, we can get the health bar. And now we can just plug the health bar on the false. And now it will, depending on this variable, change between the two. And now we know how to create another set % and all that stuff. And now let's do exactly the same with the other set the text of the health. So copy these two nodes, copy, paste it here, then plug that into the target. Yes, we need to change the type, so actually delete this, make another select, and then drag it. So it basically is another type. Now it's not health bar, now it's the text. So disable the text here, select everything, go down, put it on true, and now we have to go ahead and do the same with the dummy. So I'll get the dummy. This time we have to get the text, the health bar. Sorry, of course the UI first. So UI, and now we can get the text. Okay, so this case it will be the health text. Just go ahead and just plug it over there. So now it will be exactly the same for the other one. So now compile and save. And there's one more thing left, and it's do the same, being decrease health. So let's go to decrease health, because it's what is giving us the error, and we have to do that in here. So really it's just copying and pasting. So really we just can copy all of this. Okay, let's start with the %. Let's go into decrease health, paste it, now plug that into the target, and now we can just get rid of the other ones over there, nice and clean. Okay, well, nice and clean, and also more notes at the same time, but it's okay. And now let's do the same with the text. So also I'm gonna make it more spread, so we have more space over here, because the knot is very tight. There we go. Okay, and we need to delete this, go back to the graph, and then get this select nodes for the text, and then just go ahead and paste it. Simple as that. Great, so there's only one more thing left, and it's of course setting this variable, if it's the player or not. So let's go into the event graph, and let's go into the begin play. And basically, if we cast into the player and it succeeds, it will go through here. So we can just get the is player and then set it, and this is put this over here. Smooth this a bit. Come on, it's lagging so much. No, plug that in, put here, and then it's true. We need to tick it. But then I'm gonna copy this and paste this, and right after we cast the dummy, we have to disable this because it's not the player. So now this should all work, hopefully. Okay, so let's go here. There we go. The health bar is working. It updates. Great, everything is working. Good, cool, and cool. Okay, great. So I mean, of course, the enemy should start with 100 of health. Let's go quickly into the damage and the dummy, sorry, and now go into the BPC stats component. And now in max health, we can just, well, sorry, in current health, we can just put it into 100, and that's really all that it needs. And later on, we'll take use of levels, so each enemy will have its own level and so on. And that's pretty much it. With that should be all working. And yes, so there's only one more thing left, and it's actually killing the player. Okay, so let's go into the dummy, sorry, killing the dummy. So here it will give us the branch Okay, so make a branch if it's dead. So if it's dead, what we have to do is basically ragdoll the characters. Just go and get the mesh, get this, and then set simulate physics. And now we can just take this and we'll just ragdoll into the floor. Now select the mesh and go down and make sure that yes, query and physics is enabled. We already did before for some reason, maybe the assassination, or yes, the assassination already does ragdoll. So that's great. Actually, we do have a ragdoll. Oh, so we have a ragdoll. Okay, sorry guys. Oh yes, but after 2.5 we already had a custom event, but it has the delay. Yeah, doesn't matter, we'll just play the death sound then. Okay, just plug that after that. So we just copy the death sound and put it there. So now it should just fall into the ground and just die. Okay, so let's go here. So right now we are dealing 10 of damage because it's what our sword currently does. Okay, so of course I don't have an auto target right now. Hopefully we'll do it soon, but there we go. It ragdolls into the floor and great. So nothing I'm going to do is disable the health bar real quick. So after the sound, just get the health bar widget and then set visibility to be false. Now another quick thing, the last thing on this video is that I noticed one thing, and is that the health bar right now has a 0.7 of percent, then it updates. So what is happening on the BPC stats is that of course it's not setting the percent because I forgot, because I'm stupid. No, but I need to basically get this and drag it into the set percent. So we'll do both of that, because if not, it was not updating in the start. So all that select that we didn't work. And actually we can skip the stamina when it directly start in the health. So skip the stamina, go into the health. Might be a bit confusing, but there's a lot of notes here. And then later on it gets to the XP. So what we can do is only continue if we are the player. So let's make some space, and then on here right before the percent the XP, and right after we finish with the both percentage of the health, we can just say it's player, and if not, it will stop. So that's just a quick fix, basically a quick patch. So now you see that it has 100 on damage, and now there we go. Ooh. Continue like that, and there we go. And if we go, it doesn't have any errors or whatever. So that's it, guys. If you found the tutorial helpful, I really appreciate you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. I have lots of Unreal Engine 5 tutorials, so if you want to go ahead and check them out, go ahead. Join my Discord server so you can share your progress of the series or your game, and also ask any questions and talk with devs such as me. And also go ahead and follow me on my socials, such as Twitter and Instagram, and we'll see you in the next episode. So probably in the next episode we'll go ahead and add a new vaulting animation, like a variant, instead of jumping the whole thing just into the top there, that a lot of people have requested that. Now maybe I change it, I don't know, depending on what I feel is gonna be better for the next episode to advance. And then after that, probably very soon, we will begin finally with the equipment and inventory system that a lot of you have been waiting. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. And yeah, maybe we go ahead and change a bit the routing, and we do first the auto aim lock and a kind of a dodge. Okay, so our combat will be kind of more even finalized, pretty much the principles of it. So we'll see, okay, how it goes. So that's the idea. So, you know, to add a new vaulting option, basically start with the equipment inventory, and also add the turret lock and dodge for the next couple of episodes. Okay, so we'll see how it goes, how I order them, and so on. Of course, it could totally change. I don't know, I'm just saying this because it would be cool if it was like that, but we'll see. So now, yes, with that said, like the video and subscribe, and bye bye.